Good evening all. So we have come back with a new topic and a very important topic, how to choose your major and how to choose the right major and how to cope in the period between 2018 and 2025. And why I have chosen the period between 2018 and 2025, because different majors change with time, and the science moves on and the world moves on and the market change. So this is my perspective based on my current understanding of the current global geopolitical, scientific, and technological scene. So what topic do we have to study in order to be able to be productive in this period, in the coming 7 years? So on this topic, I shall start talking. How to choose your major. So I'm coming from Jordan, and in Jordan you start to choose your major from when you are 15 years old. You choose, am I going to do something related to science, or am I going to do something related to literature? And based on that, however, in other countries, you do some kind of A levels, and these A levels you choose a particular subject based on what kind of topic you would like to study. So if you want to study something medical, you would choose biology, chemistry, and maybe some anatomy or physiology. If you want to do something related to engineering, you would go with something like physics, mathematics, and if you and sometimes you go with languages. And if you want to do something that is related to computer science or related to business, you would choose something like accounting, and you choose some kind of marketing and so on. So it's really about what kind of topics you choose. In Jordan, things are sorted. You will do these 10 subjects. Either you choose a scientific major or you choose a literature major. So when you are 18, and I will talk a little bit about my personal experience, and I will talk about it in a very brief way. When you are 18, you try to choose your topic. And my decision was influenced by two factors. First of all, I was some kind of a little bit a nerd student, a student who was always coming first on his class and so on. So I was quite keen to be like my peers, if you may say, the people who are really getting high marks and getting attention. So I was really want to be part of this group, and I was asking this group, what do you want to study in the future? And the answer was always engineering and medicine. That's the whole thing, and it kept happening again and again and again. Now, talking about the other perspective is about family, and the family actually try to influence your decision, thinking about what kind of topic you need to study. My father was working in the building material industry, and he was interacting with a lot of civil engineers who are powerful in their respective projects, because they have been ordering some materials from him. So he thought, if I become a civil engineer, it would be a great asset for him, and it would be an advantage for the family. So I did so. That was the first thing. For me, I thought about engineering. I thought either I do electrical engineering, I'm not interested in mechanics. I was always interested in electronics and something like that, or I do civil engineering. No problem, I'm a brilliant student, I can do any topic I want. So that was the scope of it. Either I do electrical engineering or I do civil engineering. And I thought, I looked at the market when I was 18, and I thought, really, electrical engineering, we would not build any kind of electronics here, we would not build any something that have that is big in terms of electronics. The big electrical companies actually in Europe. So I have to go to civil engineering. So I went to civil engineering, and I have done my training. And when I have done my training, I discovered that actually I don't like the work nature. So this work nature, it included a lot of waiting. It included some interactions that I did not. That sometimes people look at each other and try to judge how much every person know and so on. And everyone wants to know who's better in knowing these information, and everyone to sometimes want to show that he's the smarter on the other side. So it was not the kind of environment that I would like to do naturally, but I can do, but I'm not very happy about it. So I did not have problem with the topics that I studied. I did not have problem with most of the nature of the work, but some part of the work was not very much interesting for me. So this is, and when I looked at my class, I said, all of these are civil engineers. And when you go to any company and say, what are you? You would say, I'm a civil engineer. They would say, you are a civil engineer, and the other person is a civil engineer. So what's the competitive advantage? And we just want to find someone who can monitor the workers or who can do a small design. So I thought I will not stand out from the competition. In my final year in the university, I thought I have to distinguish myself from the crowd. I have to be different. So I thought, what kind of topic I need to study and to pursue in order to let me say, distinguish myself from the crowd. I have done a lot of courses. I have done a lot of outside courses trying to distinguish myself, but I thought it's not enough. So I found the topic of railways. But I asked myself, is there a market for railways? And yes, there was a very big market for railways in the region, around $100 billion, which was the biggest projects around. And if I could have been in one of these projects, I would be in a much different place now. But I will tell you the story. So I went there. I liked railways. I liked the trains. I liked thinking about trains. And I was a brilliant student. And there was even a brilliant on-site. So I started applying for jobs. There was plenty of jobs, but it was not for me. And here, what I can tell you, the 4 things that people have to think before they choosing their major. So the first question is, what are the things I like? So what are the things I like is important. In my case, I liked something that can distinguish me mentally, and it requires some kind of mental work. It could be in math, it could be in physics. So if you are good in these topics, maybe you choose something that you enjoy, and you also need to enjoy the nature of the work. So I discovered later in life that I'm not so good in working for a long time, giving a lot of attention to details. I am a big picture person. I don't like a lot of details, but I can do it. But it can put a strain on my mind. However, I would do it all the time. So that's the first thing. Do the things you like. The second thing is do the things that the society and the university and the rules would allow you. So if you are not a great student, you can't go for a top university. This is the world, and this is how is it now, and this is how it will be in the future. So you should understand your capabilities, and even if you went to a big university, maybe you can't afford the fees. So you should understand really what the environment can give you, what are the scholarships available, and so on. So maybe I wanted to study medicine at one point, but I think my father thought it's a very long journey and they can't afford it, so they did not do it. And I think it was the right decision. So also you need to think about your financial capability. And I think also this is a decision you choose, how I will study my topic. The third thing, study the things that will have a market. And I think the military somehow leads the market in terms of creating divisions. So they are the ones who created the internet, and they are the ones who created NASA and spacecraft. So usually the new topics come out of the military. So I think the military is focusing on 3 topics now. The first one is aviation technology and systems. The second one is about artificial intelligence and data. And the third one is about biotechnology. And the 3 topics, actually, they have different trends. So maybe you end up working on solar energy and renewable energy, and this is a trend. Or maybe you end up working on, let me say, or maybe you end up working on some kind of IoT and Internet of Things. Or maybe you end up working on a cybersecurity theme. And if it's cybersecurity, there will be a lot of jobs about cybersecurity and data in the future, and there will be a lot of jobs related to Internet of Things, and there will be a lot of jobs related to diagnosis and to related building systems that analyze information, whether it was video or if it was audio or if it was speech or if it was text. So data, biotechnology, DNA synthesis, and trying to bring new drugs and new microorganisms from this. However, to do this, to do these 3 topics that are associated with the market, you need to choose. Do I want to study a topic that is related to engineering and systems? Do I want to study a topic that is related to data and artificial intelligence? Or do I want to study a topic related to biotechnology and neural biotechnology? And the three are, in the beginning, you have to choose one. But at one point they will intersect. So data will enter into biotechnology, and let me say, and engineering will enter into biotechnology, and so on. They will intersect, and there will be a lot of intersections. But in the beginning, you need to define which path I need, because you need to establish a strong scientific background in a particular field. You want to do both of these, you can do. You want to do three of these, you can do. But however, you need to be focused on one. The fourth thing that you need to think about is whether I am allowed to work in this in this kind of technology, or in this kind of work. So I have met a guy in the UK who was studying nuclear engineering, and I asked him, do you think you can find jobs in the Arab world? And that time there was only one there was no nuclear reactors, and there is only one in Abu Dhabi, and I think it's for peaceful purposes. It's for energy generation or electricity generation, and there is one. I think what they call it, like not reactor. Like look at so this that allow for particles to let me say that allows particle to be colliding with each other. Collider. I'm not sure if it's collider or if it's. So look at the one that that exists in Switzerland, CERN. Look at CERN, and you would understand what I mean. There was only one, and he told me maybe I would work in the UK. And in the UK there are a lot of submarines, and there are a lot of nuclear reactors. But I was not sure if he will be allowed, or if he will be given clearance to do this kind of job because of his background. And it's a very legitimate security question. And that has been said. You need to think about the four elements. What are the topics that I like, and what I am naturally interested in studying and doing. So you should understand the nature of the work and the nature of the study. The second thing is you need to understand what life can give you based on your finance and based on your grade and other elements. So that's a strength point. And the third one, you need to understand what are the trends in terms of the market, and provide you with my long-term analysis of the coming systems in the world. And the fourth thing is about whether I will be allowed to do these kind of jobs. So these four elements help you to choose your major. I hope this was a proper introduction to the things that you would be pursuing in your life, and I wish you let me say a great career, and I wish you a very successful life. And I have done a topic about online learning. Maybe you need to look at that, and maybe you need to design your curriculum, but it would be a lot of work, so you would always need a mentor, especially at a young age. That was my thought on things. Write them down, think about it, and maybe some of you will ask me another question. That's my talk. Have a great evening.